Again, I want to welcome all of you. Today we're going to talk about Clue 1 and Clue 2 because it's already been released, and we're going to discuss how you guys like it, if you find it difficult, if you find it stimulating enough, if you think there should have been more knitting, less knitting. We'll talk about all of that. Claudia, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, so my story, that's my square. Sorry, it's I've made a crochet version in the middle.
Yes, one of the people yesterday during our meeting also made the crocheted one and was like really pretty.
Yeah, I made the square, but it's a little bit tilted. With every row, it gets more tilted. And then I've picked up the stitches to be back on track with knitting.
So you decided to go with knitting because she was figuring out if she should continue crocheting the second clue or knitting. So you think you're gonna be knitting the second clue, right?
I've started. I keep all my options open. I've added crochet to last year's MKAL as well, so it's just that crochet for me is easier. But I'm taking part in the MKAL for the community and for learning new things. So I made clue 1 in my crochet version. Then I added a couple of rows in knitting as per pattern. And now I've started on clue 2, and I've just started. It's really just the beginning. I've got 2 garter ridges, and I'm now starting with the eyelets. And the eyelets, I definitely have to kind of get a little bit more loose with my shoulder action, because I was sitting here last night and trying to poke through the knit 2. And yeah, I think that's because of my tension. But I'm very happy with it now. And yeah, I can't wait to get this growing.
Are you planning to use mohair in yours?
Yes, I've got 1 ball of mohair ready for the mohair there. And my colors are all muted, but I would love to get this purple violet thing in there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I was wondering, do I go with just the mohair, or do I have to hold it double?
Well, so I decided to add mohair to mine. So I've been adding, I have light gray and dark gray in my shawl. So I've been adding regular light gray mohair for the light color, and I've been adding this sparkly mohair for the dark color. But yesterday, somebody else, Tanya, was talking about just using mohair helps singles. So it's your shawl. You go anywhere you want to do, right? That's why it's mohair there. So you do what you want.
I think I might go with just mohair, so that it's not such a thick texture, but more like, my hope is that you can see through it a little bit.
Right.
So that would be nice.
Well, keep us posted. I would love to see that version going.
Will do.
Thank you. Catherine, would you like to unmute yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't make it yesterday. And the last, I do labor relations as part of my job. And so we've been having some really late meetings. And of course, this ended up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was at work from 8 in the morning till 9 some odd at night. We finished at like 9:45 last night, which was not ideal. So I'm still on clue 1. But there's where I am so far. And that's a 50. I've just casted on the 53 stitch rows. So there's going to be a bulk of more burgundy. Now in the middle, the first square, I paired a red mohair with my red lipstick color. But in the second square, I held the mohair double and didn't use the lipstick color. So it was 1 row of orange, and then 2 rows of orange, I guess, and then 4 rows of red mohair held double. And then now when I do my last final orange lipstick, it'll be the lipstick and the single mohair held together. And there is mohair in with my darkest color right now.
Right.
So it's one of each. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm hoping to knit up a storm today and actually finish and get all these freaking ends tucked in so that I could start clue 2 tomorrow. I printed it off just before I left work last night so that I would have it. And that's my goal. So I'm hopeful. And I was at the beginning of a round, which is why I wanted to get my lack of progress in right away so that now I can start knitting without dropping a stitch. I did at the end of, we have little breaks in meetings. So I was knitting every time we had a little break. And on the last one, I missed a yarn over halfway through the last row. So I had to go back this morning and pick it up. And so I didn't want to get started like Martin and be knitting and talking and then realize I have to rip it all back.
Right.
Anyway,
no, let me ask you something. Did you have any trouble with the very start of the first clue? Did that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I just want everybody to know that's normal.
Yeah, I had a hard time. And so in the end, what I did was I knit, because I saw somebody else do it online, I knit a square.
Right.
They had knit a bigger square. I thought I didn't want the square to be that big. So I did 9 stitches and 16 rows or 18 rows, whatever made it square. And then I picked it up and I was trying to do magic loop, and magic loop, these stupid needles do not bend very well. And I was having a horrific time with magic loop. And I have now learned, because I was lucky enough to have 2 3.25 millimeter circular needles, I have now learned how to knit in the round with 2 circular needles.
Yeah, it makes
which is its own technique. And I didn't figure it out until after I had made a mess of the first square. So I learned something new. I now know how to do this. Obviously, at some point, I'm going to get a smaller circular needle so that I can be ready if this happens again. But yeah, now that I know how to do 2 circular needles, it's better. But oh my God, that middle was driving me crazy.
Well, I have another question. Have you watched the video for the second clue?
I started it, but I didn't get a chance to watch it to the end. I will watch it to the end before I start clue 2, which is not my usual procedure. But we were yesterday was just not conducive to
right.
Doing it. Yeah, my work. Sometimes work is different, but no, when you're involved in labor relations work, I couldn't focus on the video.
Right. I have a question for all of you guys. Do you mind spoilers in this meeting? So if you rather not see spoilers, can you please put it in the comments? So I know.
I don't mind spoilers.
Okay, so we're gonna do spoiler alert. If you wanna show your second clue, and we're gonna skip the spoiler alert for the first clue, but for the second clue, just if you're going to show us the second clue, just say spoiler alert. And meanwhile, if you really don't want spoilers, use us as a background noise and knit away meanwhile, so you don't see it, but you hear what's being said. Thanks, Catherine. Catherine, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
I'm similar to the other Catherine, that's why I raised my hand right after her, and I'm still on clue 1. I was originally doing the original one, then I switched to alternate color version, which I'm telling you because I had got to the end of it just before Stephen released the video that made us all feel so much compassion and want to change. But then I felt like I didn't know which version of, I was seeing what everybody was doing with the new clue 1. I was kind of struggling to come up with what did I want to do.
Right.
And I thought what I would do is wait to see clue 2 before I could decide how to start my new clue 1. So when I saw clue 2, I thought I wanted my clue 1 not to be so defined in stripe. I wanted it to blend more. So what I did was when I unraveled my previous one, I unraveled it and put in baggies according to the size of the stripes. So I had
that's very clever. I like that.
One and a shorter one. So then I started off using those in the center, the smallest ones, and got every time I just ran out of a little bit of yarn, I joined the next color and the next color. So I have more of a much more blendy kind of feel to it. It almost looks like it's one variegated yarn. If you look closely, it actually spirals because I'm going round and round as opposed to be concentric circles, but you don't really see it because the yarns aren't really high contrast being these yellows. on there. So hopefully I will get it done. I'm not a fast knitter, and then start on glue 2. I did have trouble with the start in the end. I ended up doing the one that Stephen showed in the video, which was the easier cast on and then just going to magic loop. But now it looks messy. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try like duplicate stitch or something over the top to kind of clean it up.
Well, we talked about it yesterday in yesterday's meeting, and mine it reminds me of little flower. I don't know why. And I'm not a crocheter, but like I'm really tempted to crochet a little flower and put it in the middle there to cover those little holes. But somebody else said that she just used the tail of the yarn and did another circle and just pulled it together, and it's like that belly button, it made it like tighter. So
I tried stitching it up a bit, but still it doesn't look even, you know, around it. So I think I still need to do some more work on it. But yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Jane, would you like to unmute yourself?
Sure. I'm going to do a spoiler alert for Clue 2, if that's all right, because I finished mine today. I don't know how much I can show of it, but that's sort of the edge of mine. I've not used any mohair. I've not used any other colours. I love my colours. I love the gradient in it.
Also, it's beautiful.
And they're also already slightly bonkers. There is also, I don't know if it shows, sparkle in it. So I kind of think it doesn't need anything else. I really like Clue 2. It's just been relaxing, semi-mindless knitting, which is kind of, I felt, what I needed at this stage for the MKAL. I have a feeling that Clue 3 is going to be absolutely bonkers.
Do you have any bets of like where are we going with that? Like what's your bet? Like what's going to happen in Clue 3?
I don't know. I mean, it feels weird. We haven't had brioche for a couple of years, but he said only using one colour at a time. So that only leaves us an option of one colour brioche. I don't know. I mean, it's what, shape-wise? It feels like it's going too much that way at the moment. So I think we're going to go modular off in different directions.
Okay, we'll see.
And keep picking up. I don't know.
The sparkle in your yarn, is that the yarn comes already with sparkle, or did you add?
Yeah.
Okay, because
no,
like, I went nuts with sparkles, so I decided to, mine was all just regular color. So first I added this silver sparkle. Then I added this bronze sparkle. Then I decided to add this black and gold and silver sparkle.
Wow.
And I also have that mohair with sparkle. So mine is sparkling like a Christmas tree or like a disco ball, like Tanya said yesterday. So it's like really super sparkly. It's very subtle, but in the evening, like if the electric light hits it, it's super sparkly. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how I feel about mine. It's like I can really see the sparkle in it, but photographs don't pick the sparkles up at the moment.
Yeah, mine neither. Like if I show you my shawl, you cannot see it on the camera. Like mine doesn't show the sparkle, but like if you look at it in real life, it's super sparkly. Well, thank you. We have somebody on the MKAL. I don't know the name, but would you unmute yourself?
Isn't that funny? It's me, Sabina.
Hi, Sabina. Yeah, it just says MKAL, so.
Oh, it asked me for a name, and I thought, oh, it was the password. My bad.
Welcome.
So I think I said this last sort of European timed Zoom as my first shawl, my first Stephen West design, and my first MKAL. I started off with a I don't know if this works. With a
is it crochet squirrels?
Knitted part. It's a mandala thing, and my concept was I'm gonna do one strand merino, one strand mohair throughout in like a grayish, whitish, blackish monocolor thing.
Right.
By the end of Clue 1, I thought, oh, and I hope I'm not offending anybody. It's like, this looks like a funeral thing, because it was like so super black. And I said, I need color. And so I went into my stash, and for clue 1, I decided to pop in, it's a fading type thing from Billum. Starts with a bright greenish yellow and ends up in a purple. So I did the clue 2 with baubles. And so I did eyelids in every second row and baubles in the fading color in every other second row.
I really love that.
And I crochet the middle, and the baubles are crochet too, because I've tried knitting baubles and they just never really show
Right.
as much as I like them to. And the crochet one, you can just do as many half long, whatever they're called in English,
right,
until you think, oh, this is a bauble now. And then you just secure it from the back with a regular crochet stitch. And I'm loving this because the pattern itself and the way that the MKAL, I don't know about the other ones before in the previous years, but this one just gives you so much liberty and freedom to do whatever you think fits your taste. And as long as you're in, like, as long as you have like the 176 stitches on each side and your edges are kind of okay, you can do whatever you like. And I just love this thing. It was supposed to be a present for somebody, but now I'm liking this so much, I'm thinking about keeping it.
Well, there is always time for the second one later, right? So the gift can wait.
I thought about this too. Like, I could do this again in different colors, maybe. And the one I like better, I keep, and the other one is the Christmas present that it was supposed to be intended to be.
That's a great idea. And actually, Dorothy Bullock Erickson, she was on the previous European Zoom as well. And she also, her initial idea was to go with just grays. It was like 4 different shades of grays. And then she said, as I was knitting it, I was getting depressed and I just wanted to add colors. So she added chartreuse to hers. So it's like, yeah, I actually also added another color and you can't really tell. So, okay, spoiler alert, I'm going to show you just a little piece of the border of the second one. So I added this color, which is, if I'll bring it near.
Different teals.
Like, it's different teals. So this is a lighter teal that I added and this is the original teal that I chosen. And the reason for that was because since that was my third start of the first clue, and I didn't want to undo it yet, so I restarted with the same new yarn basically. So I didn't know if I'm gonna have enough teal, and I had enough leftover grays from other projects that like I could mix. Gray, I feel like easier to find something similar, and this teal, I wasn't sure if I'm gonna have enough, so I just added something similar but a little different. So yeah, definitely, like you have the freedom of adding extra colors.
I'm currently thinking about ditching the mohair in the black, because with all the reverse stockinette, knitting black is, and this thing is so floozy on the needles, it's just bad. And I was like, oh, if I can only ditch the black mohair, I'd be happy, but the strands are so small. I need to have 2. So I'm currently looking for something. I've ordered wool, but if not, I'm just gonna, I'm just loving this. I'm just loving this so much.
I'm glad. Thank you. Debbie, would you like to unmute yourself?
Yes. So spoiler, I use mohair in the eyelet rows, but only in eyelet rows 1, the first 2, and then I skip the next 2, and then the next 2, and then on the other side I might do the garter ridges and add mohair. But I am actually kind of wondering, like, direction wise, I easily could see him picking up the I-cord edges because he does like to do that.
Right.
And then this clue reminds me of on shawlography, there was a clue that was like pretty short. And then he released what he called his bonus clue on Monday. So when you thought you were like doing great and getting things done, there was the bonus clue. So I am a little bit, thinking that there could be something coming up this week, but we'll see. Maybe it's just a short week and everybody will catch up and everything. So
right, I think he might not do that just to let everybody catch up with because of the rocky start, so I think that's my only bet, like, against that decision to publish extra clue. But yeah, I was thinking that it wasn't as overwhelming as clue 1 or clue 2 last year, for sure. Like, I remember last year, even with knitting like mad, I hardly finished on time. So this year was like much more relaxing. It felt relaxing.
Yeah. We'll see.
Did you have a problem with the start of the first clue? Is that magic loop?
Well, I didn't do it that way. My daughter kind of designed something. So, I mean, it looks very similar, although like we switch our color stripes.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like the middle. And so it started with one triangle that you worked all the way out, and then you just picked up along the edge and kept adding them in.
Are you thinking of adding any extra colors to like the future clues? Or are you gonna stay with those 4?
No, because I really just wanted gray and black this year.
Yeah. Well, just keep us posted. So guys, if you're on social media, if you're on Instagram, please tag Martin and me in your post, because we love to see the progress and we love to see what you're doing and how you customizing it, or where you are in the progress, just to have an idea. Smoffy, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yep. I started the clue with the crochet. I crochet as much as I knit, so the magic loop start wasn't a problem for me. But one thing I did that I noticed a lot of other people had difficulty with was when it came to using the markers on the first few rounds. People were using these big thick markers. I was using, I don't know whether the camera will pick this up, these really fine metal ones, so they didn't get in the way.
Right.
And made it, I was seeing other people's pictures and I was thinking, I can see why you're having problems, because those stitch markers are chunky and they're getting in the way.
Right.
But spoiler alert, I didn't want to do this clue. I wanted to because I wanted to support Stephen. But when I first saw it, I thought, that's a bit boring, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm so glad I did, because my colours play together. Spoiler alert, so pretty.
I love that. That's so beautiful.
Those squares. So yeah, I've you can see I've got one inside out bit. For some reason, I've got it the wrong way around in the middle square, but it's now a design feature because I'm not going back and fixing it.
I like that. Nobody will ever notice that there is any change.
Yeah, I love the way my colours are playing together, and I'm pleased that I went with this.
Well, what's your prediction about the next clue? Where do you see it going?
Everybody keeps mentioning brioche, and it's something I've never done. So maybe.
Well, I was saying yesterday that if you had to learn brioche, MKAL is probably the best time to do that, because Stephen really puts like super detailed videos and you can see his hands, you can like knit it along with him. He does it in both continental and English style. So whatever way you knit, you can understand how he does it. And you can
I'm
also
loving the
slow
videos.
down.
It's great. It's like, well, his hands are here, so if I put my hands here, the same thing should happen.
Right.
And it's a real help.
And I feel like brioche has a difficult reputation, but if you learn how to fix the brioche, it's really not that difficult. So it's like the problem is not with knitting brioche, the problem is like with fixing the mistakes in brioche. And that's like one of those skills that if you just stop frequently and you admire your knitting, you're probably gonna spot those mistakes much quicker.
Yeah,
it's much easier to fix,
Yeah, but yeah, I think it is going to get whether it's brioche or something else, I think he started us off very mildly.
Right.
I haven't done a full make along before with him, but I have followed. I've watched other people. It's been a spectator sport for me, and it's always been a bit more tricky than it has so far. So I think he's lulled us into a full sense of security. I think he's going to hit us with something soon.
Well, it's one of those things when you think like, well, because Stephen will explain it and Stephen will show it, how bad can it be? And then somehow before you understand what happened, you have this beautiful show. So he might guide you through some difficult techniques, but in the way he guides you, you manage to get it. So at the end of the day, like I haven't heard anybody who complained that they like absolutely could not do it. And also like whenever there is brioche, he always gives an easy alternative. So there is a way out. If you don't really struggling with one technique, he'll give you a simpler way to do it.
Yeah, but I'm ready for it. Whatever it is, bring it on. I'll give it a go.
Well, what made you decide to join MKAL this year?
FOMO. Everybody else was doing it and I didn't want to miss out. Simple as that. Yeah, and then I saw, I was still umming and ahhing a bit because of the expense. And then I saw these new Knit Pro yarns. And I thought, for that price, I may as well give it a go. It was a lot cheaper than sort of sending off to Amsterdam for the official kits. So I thought, yeah, for that much, I can give it a go.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to ask you guys this question. Like after you see all these beautiful shawls of different people making different shawls, do you have any regrets? Do you say like, oh my God, I wish I made the center crochet, or I wish I used those colors? Does anybody have the regret of their decisions? Tanya?
I was just going to say that I don't know if it's necessarily like a regret. I mean, I admire all of these. And so it's well, for me, it's like, oh, I could make another one like that. So another whip, who cares?
Well, let's mention that because that came up yesterday, and apparently at some point last year you had 100 whips, over 100 whips.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot more added. So, but I whittled them down. I'm keeping it sane at around 40.
Well, when you do, okay, so now it's a same number 40. Do you work on some of them while you're doing MKAL, or when it's time for MKAL, it's exclusively MKAL?
Yeah, so I'm waiting for my mohair. So I've got, well, okay, so I'm making a test knit for my friend in Texas, but I was waiting for her to give me some measurements. So I picked my ranunculus back up. So, I mean, and then I signed up for 2 more test knits last night. So it'll be fine. It'll all get done.
Thank you. Deborah, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi there.
Hi.
This is my first Stephen MKAL. I've always been blown away by the design, but put off by the colors. So I never joined. This time I decided that I was going to join and use the colors that I had in my stash because I didn't want to spend money on something that I may not like. So I watched the first clue before I decided to join. And I was caught right away by the design that he was creating. So I was disappointed, that the first one was going away. But after I thought long and hard about it, I thought, this is the right thing to do. And I'm going to move forward with the design that he wants because it's his design. But I went forward with making the concentric squares and I finished all that. But after I saw some of those crochet designs, I was really having major FOMO that I hadn't done a crochet design because I've been a crocheter all my life. And I've done a lot of really beautiful squares, but I wasn't confident enough to get those squares to the right number of stitches. So I shied away from doing the crochet squares, but boy, I wish I had. I mean, I like the one I'm doing. I do. I really love it. And I'm happy to be moving forward with this more than ever, actually, now. But I think I might do another one later with a crocheted square because there are some beautiful ones out there.
I actually think that the fact that a lot of people doing alternative variations of this shawl is going to inspire a lot of people to knit this shawl more than once, because it's like, I'm sure you're not alone in that sentiment. And I'm sure people, when they see all the beautiful shows that's going to be made with the alternatives, they're going to be like, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. Because this is how I feel. Every time I see somebody else showing me some beautiful center design, I'm like, that would be like really cool.
Exactly. Thank you.
What made you decide to join MKAL this year versus like previous years? Like, what was that thing that pushed you into the MKAL?
It was really the design, honestly. I was one that didn't see anything bad with it, but honored Stephen. So I resisted it first, and then I decided to move along with it. But it was really his design that started me thinking about doing the design this year.
Have you watched the second clue? The video?
Oh, yes, I'm working on the second clue now.
So when you saw the end, did you see the end of the video? Did you see the whole second clue?
Yes.
Okay, so what did you think? Like, did you see that coming? Was it something you thought, oh, that's perfect continuation of the show, or did you think it's going to be something else?
Well, I had no idea what to expect because I don't know Stephen's designs well enough to expect anything.
Right.
But I think it's a perfect match for what his clue 1 is now.
Right.
So I'm excited to move forward.
Any predictions on clue 3?
Well, the only thing I put in the chat, maybe we might see a little bit of mosaic since he said only one at a time.
But do you think we're going, like we're continuing knitting it to the sides, or do you think we're going to go up or down?
Well, he's going to have to do something on the side because it's kind of a rough edge right now. So I would expect that he'll expand in both directions, maybe not as much in one direction as the other, but yeah, I don't know what to expect. It's going to be interesting no matter what it is.
Are you usually a fan of mystery? Do you like mystery?
No, I don't. I'm one of those people that don't like surprises. I don't want anything that I'm not aware of. I'm always in control of everything. So I decided to throw all caution to the wind and have fun. And it might have been the fact that I was putting off knitting my grandson this really complicated cabled sweater. So this is my distraction from that sweater.
Right. Well, I'm glad you joined us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so of course I'm again forgetting the name. The MKAL.
Not a problem, Sabina. I can't change it. I was just wanting to say about the square in the middle, the crocheted square. Mine turned out to be 18 by 18 by 18 by 18, which kind of, if you have to end up with a 85, I think it was 85 stitch count, you just have to basically add 2 more stitches to the final. You end up with, I think it was 84 or something, and then you just add 2 more. And I did this where the split goes to the diamond shape, like in the corners. So I added 2, and then I was 85 on each end. So don't be scared of the crochet. I didn't even try the original loop from the knitting. I was like, crochet can do that. We'll do that. It's just great. And I've seen so many crochets, granny squares, different crochet types. It's just amazing. Just do it. Do another one with the crochet in the middle.
And yesterday we had one lady made she had a concern that it might be too tight and the fabric was too dense, and she thought that it was maybe too small. But the reality of it, it's a shawl. Like, I don't think it's that crucial. If it's a little bigger, it's a little smaller.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Thank you. Okay, then we have somebody who goes under Zoom user. Anne.
Sorry, I was trying to figure out how to change it.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I actually just got off YouTube watching your Australian one, and I was like, I want some more people to talk to. And then I thought, wait, it's Saturday. It's 1 o'clock.
Right.
So I am, when you were asking if you regretted your choice, because we all know I've done this 3 times now. I've started it once, frogged it, started it twice, frogged it, and went to his actual version 3. And I'll show you where I'm at with mine so far. I haven't finished, but I am here.
Beautiful.
And I have the white and the pale blue to go, and then I will have finished. And I'm loving completely my colors. And at the beginning, when I looked at his, because I jumped a happy jump. I was like so excited in my kitchen when I saw what Clue 2 was. I absolutely love Clue 2. And I wanted my dark blue to stand out as a garter.
Mhm.
And I thought, okay, how am I going to do that? And I kept looking at his, and then the way they had done it, they had started with their dark in the middle, but I had started with my white in the middle. And I thought, oh, I don't know if this is going to work now. When I was got a piece of paper out and I'm drawing and I'm trying to work all the thingies out. And then like a dimbo, it suddenly dawned on me, the blue will still be the garter ridges. This will be the eyelets.
Right.
Because I will have finished with this. This will be eyelets, this will be blue. So it'll be these 2 that stand out, which was what I wanted. I wanted that one to stand out because I just loved it. So, and I'm to the point with this now, again, I thought when I first saw this, it was boring. And, but then now I don't find it boring. I find it very soothing to knit. And it was interesting that I've never done a square in the round before. So I thought that was a bit weird. And I had a hard time with the very first one, cast it on 3 times, ripped it out, cast it on, ripped it out. Because I kept trying to make it round, a square. And I was on magic loop needles. So I couldn't figure out why there was nothing on either side. And then I realized as a sock knitter, I knit in around with magic loop all the time. Sorry, my husband's getting cookies out, and if you hear that noise. And so then I realized to hold it as I would a sock.
Right.
And that got really easier and I could figure it out better. But then as it got bigger, now I'm just knitting it as one whole big piece.
Yeah.
Without, and it's, I just find it, I don't need to look at the pattern. I find it very easy, very restful. I can sit and watch telly, sit and watch Irina's Zooms. And,
Oh,
and
have you
just-
watched the second video? Have you watched the second clue?
Yes, I did. I loved it. I did a happy dance in the kitchen because I just thought it was gorgeous. And I'm knitting like crazy to try to get to it. My hands are hurting so much now because I also
Actually
knit a
wanted to
million
ask
other
you,
things.
right, like you're not the monogamous knitter, plus
I
you
am not.
quilt, and plus you
I
do
quilt.
cross stitch, right?
Yeah, I cross stitch, I knit, I crochet. I've just ordered some yarn to crochet an Attic 24 blanket. And and I'm designing a pair of socks at the moment. So I have them on the needles. It's like, oh. So I try to give myself each week. Monday is socks. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is socks. Thursday, Saturday is the Westknits. Cross stitch is Sunday, and I forget, and I think the other day is going to be for my crochet blanket. But yeah,
Well,
I never get it on, and I'm never on time, and I don't care.
Right. Are you thinking of adding mohair to the second clue?
No, I don't like mohair, so I'm not adding any mohair to mine.
At least that's an easy decision.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Would you like to unmute yourself?
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. last time I spoke because I had things to say, but nothing very important. If you ask me the question that you have asked the others before me, I'm going to say that the beginning was hard because I loved the first part, and then I decided to try a second part, being afraid not to be able to do it. And in fact, I couldn't do it. So I did a third one. So I have done 2.5 centers. And the last one is not so good because it doesn't have the right size. I thought it was because there was ribs in it. You can't see it because, okay, you see it's twisted. Right. It's not the right size. The needle is in the middle, so I cannot. And so I don't know. I just try to block it, and I should pull it very hard. With one hand is difficult. So the middle has to be dealt with. I don't know what I'll do. And why am I participating? Because last year I was very shy. I waited 1 week to start. Then I decided I had bought no yarn. I decided I'll go to my Chinese shop here just next door. And then I thought, no, it's such a good work of art that I want to do it with serious yarn. So I bought some yarn and I did a serious one. And I loved it so much, even though it was so difficult for me. That I have knitted almost only Stephen's work. I have done the Heber Knit Along. Aurora Cabin Shawl is my favorite. I've done the jacket, the very heavy jacket, Pinguino. Mm-hmm. And I have the socks, the blast socks, which I had planned to do in the summer, but I was sick and I didn't have my hands. I've been doing lots of things by Stephen, and I love it. Oh yes, I'm doing the Sleep Extravaganza Schlanket.
That will take a bit.
Yeah, it does. But never mind. There's no hurry. I have all my time, and I love it. It's reds, and I'll put some pictures on Instagram. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, what did you think about the second clue? Did you enjoy knitting it?
Oh, yes. So easy. I just made a mistake, which means I did twice the eyelet row. I mean, I jumped the garter column, the garter rows, so I had to undo it. But I'm very good at undoing now.
I mean, I guess it's like another lesson of the MKAL. We all became really good at frogging, right?
Yeah. So I have 2 rows and a half to finish. I mean, 2 colors and a half, and then I finish the clue too. So I'll be able to go to the socks, the blast socks.
Well, before I share my version of the shawl, does anybody want to share theirs who didn't have a chance to show? Deborah, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi there. I realized the last time I spoke, I didn't show anything.
Yeah,
I'm working on an eyelet row, so please forgive me. I'm afraid they're going to fall off. But this is what it looks like so far. It's difficult to show because I've got things wrapped up. But anyway, you can see very muted colors.
Yeah.
Not very well at all. Hang on.
It's beautiful.
It's not working.
Don't drop this.
I can't really see it.
The last thing I want is for you to drop the stitches, so just be careful with that.
Exactly. So my stash yarns are varied. I didn't do mohair or a different pop of color because I'm actually using for the dark a Barocco stock yarn. And it doesn't behave well on eyelets, let me tell you that right now. So I'm really glad that it's my reverse stockinette color. The dark or the lighter purple is Lavender Fields by Knit Picks, and it's actually a tweed. So I've got some tweed in that strip of lavender. And then this one is a periwinkle color that is a Wonderland Yarns. And then the white is just undyed sock yarn. another Barocco sock yarn. So the colors don't come off very well, but they're much prettier in person than they are on camera.
Yeah, no, they look really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I do want to ask you a question though.
Sure.
I wanted to add another pop of color possibly, but I'm afraid it's going to mess up my design. What do you think with not knowing?
I've seen a lot of different shawls with the fifth color and they look beautiful. So I don't think you can make a mistake by adding another color. It just like you can do like occasional stripe and not like every repeat stripe. So I don't think you're gonna regret that decision.
Well, maybe I'll think about that then. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Annie, did you want to unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, I decided to start over. I was trying to do a modification with the triangles going in, and I just got it was bad. So I started over, and I believe it's one of the women that was that designs costumes. I can't remember what her name is.
Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy actually did a small stripe of her dark.
Yeah.
So, and I really liked the way that looked. So that's what I have come up with. It's hard to see in this light, but
no,
purples and reds.
I really like that idea as well. I liked it on her shawl and I like it on yours.
Yeah, it's very graphic and I'm very happy. So I'm hustling to get it done so I can start Clue 2.
Have you watched Clue 2? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I watched it. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be interesting. And watching what everyone's doing, putting bobbles in, different colors, I think it's really cool. And I'm just about to start trying to add in an extra color. So, and this one is, it has a little purple in it. So I'm kind of interested to see what happens with this. So we'll see. If I hate it, I'll take it out.
Well, I please join the future Zoom. So we want to see how that shawl growing. I want to see the progress on it.
Thank you.
Lisa, do you want to unmute yourself?
I taught online with Google Classroom for a whole year and a half, and I still can't figure out Zoom.
Good. So that makes all of us feel better because I thought I was the hopeless one, but yeah, that's great.
You're right. I just wanted to say thank you for, creating this community, because I don't think I would have finished last year's MKAL if it hadn't been for, just seeing everybody's progress and encouragement and everything. So I kind of went rogue with my, this is my shawl.
That's beautiful.
And I had the lipstick gradient, like I think
Catherine, yeah.
Catherine. And I switched it up and I used this Emily Oker's cast on, and this is an Afghan square I actually found a free version of this online, but this is Kate Davis Berlin blanket, but I found it's I guess it's like a motif that's been used before. So yeah, when I watched Steven's video, I was in line getting coffee and I saw his video, and then I was watching his video and I just like choked up, when I saw that video. And so I started out with a flower sort of representing my heart and then radiating out,
Yeah.
So I'm almost done. I have about 9 more rounds to go for this one. And then I have picked out a couple of alpacas to maybe put in there. So this is a Surrey alpaca.
Such a beautiful color.
This is, yeah. So I'm kind of just going, I think, did somebody say there was a chart that you could color? I'm thinking of doing a diagram to figure out my my color schemes, because I heard somebody complaining about how his new clue ended with color B. And then they were starting
with color B, and then the new clue starts with color A, but it actually makes it better.
I think it looks pretty. It's like a quilt. To me, it looks like a quilt border.
Right.
And I think it just sort of gives your eye, your eye a rest. Right. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem at all. And really, I think his second clue melds beautifully with the second clue. I mean, it just looks great. I think I saw somebody had it on a hanger, and she had it like the quadrangle spires shawl. So I'm excited to see what he's going to come up with. Just knitting furiously.
Any predictions on the third clue?
Oh, I agree. It's going to go further out this way, but then he's got to build in the other direction, right? See, because I found with the last year's was more like a scarf than a shawl. So I do hope he goes a little bit more
deeper.
Width-wise, yeah. But lovely pattern, and I feel like the love is back, in the whole MKAL for me.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Mimi, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi. So I didn't finish Clue 1 yet, and I'm doing the Pink Queens version. So there we are. So that's that. But I had a question for you. Rhinebeck is next weekend. Are you doing any kind of meetup for those of us who are also going there?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna be Friday. I'm gonna be at Indian Tangled and Woolen Folk, and I'm gonna be. I don't know the time yet. I'm gonna post it once I know. But I'm gonna be at Scottish Yarn Festival booth at Woolen Folk on Friday. But also on Saturday at 12 p.m. I'm gonna be at the Podcaster Hill at the New York Ship and Wool. So if you have time, just stop by to say hello.
Okay, awesome.
And if you see me anywhere walking on any grounds, just please stop me and say hello, because I would love to meet you all guys in person, whoever can come there. So absolutely stop me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you. And thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. It was so lovely to see the progress of your clues. I have zero idea where we're going with that, but I want to share my version of like where I got. So spoiler alert. So this is mine. And I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but there is sparkle in it. You can see a little bit of a bronze sparkle in the little of the black, but basically like after the first clue, every stripe has some sort of sparkle or mohair in it. And I'm really enjoying it so far. So can't wait for the third clue. I hope you all can join the future Zooms, because I want to see your progress and I want to see how you're enjoying it. I posted the schedule under every Zoom that's on my channel. There is a full schedule of all the future Zooms, and it's the same exact meeting ID and the same passcode for all of them. So I hope you're gonna have time to join any of them or all of them. Please, like this is what makes this community so beautiful. We're all getting to know each other a little bit better with every meeting. So thank you so very much for joining me today, and enjoy your knitting. Thank you.